Yeah, this is Jonathan. Today I want to show you how to build a handrail on a set of steps that only has either block or concrete. I was struggling with this for a little while and I'll figure it out finally. So if you notice here, we have concrete at the bottom to hold the post, but right here, as you can see, it's on the concrete itself, the steps itself break. So I needed to make sure this was secure, because there's no way I can open a hole on that side to get concrete on it. The space between the window and the edge of the steps is too small, so I needed to get these 2x4 on the concrete. So what I use is one of those anchors, and yes, those anchors by themselves are kind of weak, so I needed to reinforce this set of handrails. So what I did is I got another anchor right here, and it's secured on a concrete, and then secured with the 2x4, and then I added another bracket right here, and then I have concrete. So with that, this post is super secure, and this is the one that holds most of the weight, or it will handle most of the weight, and is the strongest one. So as you can see, it's not going anywhere. And so right now I'm going to start building the frame. A lot of times I've seen most people, what most people do is they just set the handrails and then they install the balancers right to the handrail. I don't really like that. It looks kind of cheap, and I like it to have a little bit more of the design or style. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a frame with the second board, one top, one bottom, and I'm going to attach the balusters to those boards at a little frame. Then I'm going to insert that frame between the handrails, and that should make it look way better. So alright, so here we go. So the first thing I need to set the frames is the two boards that I'll be using to install in this part right here, one bottom and one top, before I install the balusters. So I have already cut the pieces, and I'm going to set one nail on each one of them just to measure the size of the balusters that I need. So I'll be using a 2-inch nail to set this up. Alright, so I'm going to start with the first one. Set it on top of the bottom rail. Center it the best I can. Again, right now this is not the final installation. It's something I'll use just to secure it. And all I do is just get one nail in it. My whole idea is just to secure it and set it in place. This is how it will be at the end, but I just need it right now to measure the size of the baluster. So that's the first one. I'll do the same one on the second one, and I'll start with the balusters. Alright, so I already have the two bottom pieces. I'm going to go ahead and start measuring and cutting the balusters for the handrail. So you can see the difference between this. This one has already the beginning of the frame. This one right here doesn't have anything yet. This is just the first piece of board that I'm measuring. So you can see it looks kind of plain and simple, and just I personally don't like it. So with the second board in the frame, it will look a lot better, and it will be easier if you need to replace it, or eventually if a baluster needs to be replaced and for a different style, you can do it without hurting the structure of the handrail itself. So alright, I want to show you how it looks after the balusters are in place, and we'll go from there. One thing I'll recommend is, with your sizing your balusters, make sure you mark the location where the balusters are going to go. In this case, all you do is just put it up against the top frame, draw a line, going down, and the same thing on the second one. That way you know whenever you made the first cut, it will be the exact angle, well, how do you need them. Another thing that is worth to point out is that you gotta make sure it's when you install the balancer, it's leveled. So before I just set it and mark it, and it was crooked. So I'm gonna have to mark it all over again. Now I'm measuring with the label, so I know this is the exact, the perfect location for the balancer. So now it's gonna be leveled like in a 90 degree. Now it's gonna be at 90 degree and perfectly balanced. So I'm gonna make the second marking and the first cut. Alright, so now that I have them marked, I know is the bottom one, not the first one, but the second one, the right one. And I have secured it on the miter saw. And now just go ahead and make the 45 degree cut. And they're good. Alright, so I got all the balancers and the bottom part of the handrail ready. I have marked the location where I'm going to set each one of the balancers. I have also marked which one is the bottom and the top part in the handrail, as well as the balancers, top and bottom. This will be a number 1, so I just need to match 1 on top with 1 at the bottom, and just go down through number 7. Right. So that's it. Now I just need to make sure I set it in the right spot, nail it, and that should make the frame. I'm also going to add glue to it before I nail them. So this is it. Liquid nail, heavy duty. Apply a little bit on the board, a little bit on the baluster before nail it in. Then put it around, put the nail in, and that should hold it in place. And this is it. This is the final product on the frame. So I'm gonna go ahead and mount it right now and see what it looks like. So this is the current process. Now let's see how it looks when we install the frame. Check it out. And that's what it looked like with the frame in place. Alright, so 1 down, 3 more to go. I'll show you guys once I finish the next frame, the before and after. So, so the process will be the same. Just measure, cut, liquid nail with the nail gun, and mount it, screw it, sand it, and paint it. Alright, I'll show you the next section once it's completed. Alright, this is the second frame for the top part, and let me show you how to install it. I'm going to show you how it looks after it's installed. And that's it. Second side of the frame completed. Start working on the other side. The second side, the left side, top frame. After installed, Now, this is the best way for me to install these handrail toppers. And it is, you have to make sure you hit the center of the post. So what I do is I draw 2 lines from corner to corner, try to find the exact center, and then I drill a hole in and I set the topper. And now that I have the center, I'm just going to drill a hole, and just to make the topper to go in easier. The topper, they have a screw at the bottom like this. So if I pre-drill a hole, it's a lot easier for me to screw it in. So I'll open the hole and I'll show you once this is halfway in. Alright, so here we go. It's halfway in, and all I gotta do is just keep screwing this in until it hits the bottom, and once it reaches the bottom, it will get really hard to keep spinning, and that's how you know that you have reached the max allowance of space that you can screw this in. So right there, it's sturdy enough. So that's it. That's how you install the handrail topper. Alright, and this is the final product. As you can see, all the anchors and brackets have been painted, so you don't see them. They're in disguise. But that's it. That's the whole stairwell completed from beginning to end. And again, I use brackets and anchors and concrete, but if you don't have the option of doing concrete, you can always go with the anchors and the brackets. Alright, so I hope this video has helped you and gives you a good idea on how to figure out your problem if you're having the same issue as I was, not knowing how to do railing posts without having the option of being able to open holes and fill them in with concrete. So, alright, that's it. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.